What's the most actionable news item heading into the final draft weekend?
Mac Jones winning the job in New England is very good news for Damien Harris, because Damien Harris will now presumably, unless Ramondre Stevenson takes the job, get the goal line carries. And I projected Harris from like 4 touchdowns to 9 and boosted him significantly. And he may even catch some passes because I think Mac Jones will check it down even on early downs. So huge boost for Damien Harris. I'll give you another one though. Jameis Winston winning that job in New Orleans is a huge boost for Alvin Kamara, because Jameis will check it down, unlike Taysom Hill, who will take off. And Alvin Kamara, with no receivers there, Michael Thomas is out a month and a half, may catch 90, 100 passes this year. And I think there's a good case to make Alvin Kamara the number 2 overall pick. I think in some ways, and Dalton said this also on the podcast, that he's closer to 2 than he is to 4.
Why are you cautioning drafters not to take CeeDee Lamb in round 2?
I like CeeDee Lamb. He could be the next great receiver. And what happens if he is? Well, he'll be like Calvin Ridley, DK Metcalf, AJ Brown. He'll be in round 2 next year. He'll be like the receivers in round 2 now. So why would you pay the price of someone who's already arrived, who hasn't yet arrived, when there are so many of these guys who are available who have already arrived? So why, when you're paying full price for the breakout, then the breakout is just a par. There's no point in that. But I moved up Elijah Moore. This is kind of crazy. I just saw a thread of hype from Pro Bowl NFL receivers. So AJ Brown, who went to college with him, was almost in tears.
I'm proud of you, bro. It's up.
That's it. Yeah.
Talking about how great Elijah Moore is and how much better he is than himself, than AJ Brown. And then Odell Beckham said, he's the one. He can do stuff I couldn't do. Remember what Odell Beckham did when he came to the league. And then Chad Ochocinco, who was a great receiver for a while, said, he's like him, but faster. And, whatever, it's hype, it's talk. But he was the 34th overall pick. That's a borderline first-round pick. There were rave reviews in camp about him before he hurt his quad. He's healthy now. And I'm just believing that all these players know what they're talking about, and this guy's the real deal.
Should fantasy drafters drafting this weekend be handcuffing their high-end running backs, or should they be trying to get the backups for other running backs to maximize their upside?
I think the latter. I think you want to maximize your upside. I also think, if you draft Dalvin Cook second and he gets hurt and you try to put in Alex Madison, and what are you going to get? 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns and 30 catches? I mean, you're not getting Dalvin Cook back. I just think unless the guy were so obviously almost as good as the starter was going to give you, 80, 90% of what the starter would give you, just draft everybody else's backups, and maybe your guy will stay healthy. Maybe their guy will get hurt, and you'll just have a huge windfall and maybe win a big overall contest.
Who's the trendiest player that you're not drafting?
Another guy's Antonio Gibson, very trendy. I just read some article on him that someone linked to, and I didn't even finish it because it was all hype. It was all about his attitude and his style and all that. And I was like, this isn't, it's not the Elijah Moore thing where they're praising his game. They're just talking about how, his life and stuff. I didn't really, the human interest story doesn't interest me. Maybe there was more meat and potatoes on that later in the article, but I stopped reading it. So maybe Gibson, and that could burn me because I know a lot of people really believe in him.
How about Marcus Callaway?
Look, he could be good. I mean, he's not especially fast. He's 6'2", 205, nothing special size-wise. Traquan Smith, if he could ever get healthy, is there. Michael Thomas coming back eventually. I don't know. I just, to me, I'm a little bit resistant to just taking the guy who happens to be there and saying, oh, he's there, he must get all the stats and targets, when he's not really very established. So it could happen, but I'd rather get Traquan Smith, 5 rounds later.
One of the most common questions we get in the RotoWire chat message boards is, who should I take in the last round?
All right, I'll give you 3 players. One of them is Kadarius Toney. It's a homer pick. But Dave Gannell, Chad, he knows talent. He may not be splitting the atom, but he knows talent. The Jaguars also wanted him, and he's a first-round pick. Galladay's already iffy with the hamstring. Slayton was banged up. Shepard always gets hurt. Ingram is hurt. Take the first-round pick rookie in the 19th or 20th round. He should be there. Donovan Peoples-Jones is another one. Odell Beckham always gets hurt. Peoples-Jones made some big plays last year as a rookie, and I think if something happens to Beckham, or even as the number 3 receiver, he may make some plays this year. I'll throw in one more guy, Zach Ertz. I think Zach Ertz is just as featured as Goddard. Zach Ertz once set the record for tight end receptions with 116, and if the Eagles offense is credible, which it might be this year, Ertz could be a top 10 tight end easily.